Hello plant tribe, and welcome back to my channel. If you're returning, welcome back. It is amazing to see you, and if you are new here, welcome. I am so glad you found me. This is my channel. My name is Nikki, Plants, Pots, and Whatnots. That was a little backwards, but you get where I was going with it. You met what I knew. So anyways, today I am pretty excited. There is so much crazy new growth going on in my collection. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen some of these already. But I tend to find that my followers on Instagram are not generally one and the same as my subscribers on YouTube. So for those of you on YouTube, I thought I would go ahead and show you some of the amazing new growth that's going on here. We are now on our second day of summer, and in the last couple weeks, I have had like leaves just like out of nowhere. It's crazy. Like on some of them on plants that haven't done anything in the longest time, and or some of them ever since they've been in my care. So I really wanted to show you guys that. I thought it was really exciting, and yeah, so we're just gonna go around. I'm gonna show you some new things, just some plant updates as far as my collection is concerned, and yeah, so that's where we're at today. So if that sounds like something that you would like to watch, then by all means stick around, and let's check out some new leaves. Okay guys, so here we are. I'm going to show you some really cool new updates for some of my plants. I'm hoping this isn't going to be too long. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, but you know me, I tend to ramble and rant, and then I get on this whole big tangent and I'm already doing it. Okay, so first I'm going to start on this shelf, or this area over here. So this is kind of what that area looks like. So the first plant that I want to show you here is my pitcher plant, or my Nepenthes, who, as you can see, has gone cray-cray. This thing is crazy. So I have it in this wall planter, and it has just grown and grown and grown. So the problem here is that it's got all these new growths, as you can see. Oh god, they're so sticky. But it hasn't grown any more pitchers. So I believe it's because at this point there's some old ones, and maybe it just doesn't have the energy to produce those. So what I'm actually going to do, and I'm going to make this into a video, is I'm going to propagate this so that we can grow some brand new pitcher plants. We will snip off some of these old ones that you can see the top starts to deteriorate or rot or crisp. And yeah, so I will show you guys how to propagate your pitcher plants. The next plant here I wanted to show you is this Adansonii narrow form. So this plant, if you've been around a while, you've seen it before. So I originally got it and it was maybe only like this tall, and it has grown a lot. And it's doing so well since I moved it over here. It was by my front window, and it was in a spot that it kind of got forgotten and ignored. So when I moved it over here, it has just gone crazy. So actually what I picked up, let's see if I can grab them here. Hold on one second. They're behind me. So I got these little command hooks. So they're just tiny little ones, and so what I'm gonna do, because this guy's just wanting to grow like all over the place, so I would like to actually train it where I want it to go. So what I'm gonna do is adhere some of these. They're just little command strips that don't you know, hurt paint or anything like that. So I'm gonna kind of stick them on the wall, kind of where I want the vines to vine to, and yeah, so that's kind of exciting. So I don't know if I should turn that into a video or not. You guys let me know if that's something you want to watch. I don't know. Okay, so let's move along. We'll start on the bottom. So as you know, I got this little Anthurium crystallinum silver in my House of Monstera plant order almost 2 weeks ago now. This little leaf was super tiny and actually hiding underneath this leaf when I got it, that I didn't even see it until like it was closer to like me putting it, you know, away when I saw this little tiny leaf. So you can see that this leaf is grown quite a bit, and it's still growing. It hasn't hardened off yet. So I am so excited, and I wish the silver on this plant would come through. Oh, it kind of is. Look at that. It is just beautiful. So that is the first one that I wanted to show you because I was very excited about that. The next plant that I want to show you guys are familiar, especially if you follow me on Instagram, with my Philodendron Florida Beauty. So this was the previous leaf, which is just beautiful. It's a half moon, so it's half like that creamy yellow, and then the other half is this really cool variegation in this dark green. About a week and a half ago, it put out this leaf, which, if I can show you, is like 2.5 times the size of my hand, which is crazy. So this leaf is actually about a foot and a bit long. So it's huge, and this leaf isn't quite hardened off yet, and now we have a brand new leaf just unfurling. So I'm really excited to see what this leaf is going to look like. Usually when philodendrons, variegated philodendrons grow new leaves, new variegated leaves, it's kind of hard to tell. And let me see if I can show you. So you can kind of see the variegation, but that will develop as the leaf hardens off. Like this one, it's really starting to show its colors. Just a gorgeous plant. If you don't have one of these and you have an opportunity to get your hands on one, I highly recommend them. They grow really well. They're really super easy plants, and they just really pack a punch. They're absolutely beautiful. So there's that. Up in here is my newest Philodendron Verrico melanochrysum leaf. And my leaves are actually starting to get quite large now. So that one is probably about the size of my hand, maybe a little bit bigger. I know it's hard to get the sizing on camera. And I can't quite reach my hand back there, but you get the general idea. Also, this plant, this is the one, and I don't know if I said it on here or on Instagram, but I used a cloning paste on a bunch of the nodes on a few of my plants, and this one has definitely responded to it the best. So if you can see right here, there's another leaf coming here, right here, and it's coming out of the same node that is growing these ones. So that's really, really cool. I will link that cloning paste down in the description. I highly recommend it. It's actually really, really working well. Now, it hasn't worked well on all of my plants, and actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just do a separate video on that, and I'll kind of tell you the ins and outs. But until then, if you want to check that out, it is down in the description of this video. Here is my Philodendron Verricosum, who has been cut a few times, and is growing back. Look at that leaf. Like, whew, so pretty. So she's starting to really take off now. She's growing leaves on both of the plants that I have in here, and they are starting to finally get a little bit bigger. So that's very exciting. The next plant I'm just going to take down off the top shelf here because it's hard to get the camera up here. Where can I set her down? Let's set her down right here. Get some stuff out of the way. Okay, so this is my Anthurium Avatara Folium. So this was the leaf that it put out shortly after I got it. You can see here it is currently flowering for me. Cute little inflorescence there. And then this is its most recent leaf. Now I don't know if it's going to come off on camera, maybe a little bit. But it almost looks like it's a waxy, but that is not it. It's almost iridescent. If you've seen one of these in person, you will know what, like, that shine there is just like ridiculous. They're absolutely beautiful plant, and I love these pendant leaves. And anyway, it's absolutely one of my favorite anthuriums, and I love it. So let me show you the next one. This is my Anthurium Bakery Guerrier. I don't know. I never say that right. Anyway, this is the leaf that it just put out, and look at that. I love the vein down the center and how the sides kind of look like they have this frame. It is just so beautiful. And this leaf it's just perfection. These plants are really, really cool. I definitely think they're underrated. They're wonderful plants. Again, if you can get your hands on either one of these pendant anthuriums or strap anthuriums, but however you want to refer to them as, I highly recommend you do so because they are really rewarding and beautiful, fast-growing plants. Okay, so I have moved my three of my biggest plants over onto this little dresser shelf. Oh, sorry, that's my potting mat. Just because I was running out of room on the shelves over here, and these guys were getting a little tall. My mammy was starting to burn a little bit, as you can see, which is not okay with me. It doesn't quite like the super highlight. So we live and we learn, right? And when something doesn't work in a space, we move it. So the first plant I would like to show you is my Alocasia Frydek. And as you can see, she is doing phenomenally well. I did have to use a little piece of tape here just to kind of keep her up so that people weren't bumping the leaves when they walked by. But she's doing really well. If we look down here at the bottom, she's got one little baby there that has 2 leaves. This is the newest leaf on that side. There's another one coming in right here. We have, oh, sorry, that's a separate leaf, separate plant. 2 separate plants? Okay. So this is the second one, as you can see. So these plants are what they refer to as rhizomatic. So they will duplicate by rhizomes underneath the soil, similar to like a Sansevieria, if you have Sansevieria. And they will shoot out these pups. So in an upcoming video, I do need to repot this plant. I think I'm actually going to turn that into a live. So keep your eye open for that. I may do that this coming weekend, perhaps. And I may have a special guest. We'll see. And also, I noticed this guy yesterday. There is another little brand new pup coming up right here, which is so exciting. So I'm going to have 3 more Alocasia Frydek plants, which is really cool. Look at her. She's so pretty. Girl! Okay, if we're moving over here, here is my Philodendron Pink Princess, who, let's look way up, is doing really well, growing really fast. These leaves are getting absolutely huge. So these are a little bit bigger than my hand. She just spat out this leaf. It just popped out of its sheath this morning, so that'll be exciting to see what kind of variegation it has. Now, the interesting thing about this plant, other than the fact that there's actually 5 plants in here, all around the base here, some of them at varying levels of height, but obviously the biggest one being the one right in the front here. Now, I got a whole lot of green leaves, a little bit of pink, so I was starting to kind of give up hope that this plant was going to have any pink on it at all. However, then it spat out this, which is just beautiful. Now, I know that it's not as pink as some pink princesses out there are, but I love just that amount of pink. It gives the plant a little something extra, but then you're not super paranoid about those all pink leaves that it could potentially and probably will die off. And then the next one you can see has this, look at that vein. Oh, I just can't. So anyways, it is starting to get pink. So if you do have a pink princess that is throwing all green leaves, give it some time. You never know. I almost gave up on this plant. I was going to keep it anyway just because I like philodendrons and it really didn't matter that much to me. But it is just a super bonus that it eventually started throwing pink leaves. So super happy about that. So that is my philodendron pink princess. And if we move over here, here is my philodendron mame. And as you can see, now these plants aren't typically rhizomatic, but not long ago, it spat out this whole new plant. So I have this adorable little baby. This is the newest leaf that is just unfurling here. It still has some morning dew on her. And it is doing really well, super healthy. Now, if you saw my video where I air layered this plant, sorry, I gotta switch hands. This thing is so heavy. So I cut here and I propagated 4 nodes, which are all rooted, which is really exciting. 2, I am giving, 1 I already gave away to one friend of mine, Paula. The other one is going to another friend of mine, and the other 2 I am probably going to keep for myself for a little while. We'll see what happens with those. I'm not too sure yet. But at this point, because of how this was growing, and I couldn't straighten it out, I decided that I was going to try air layering for the first time. So there are 2 nodes in here that are currently growing roots. If you saw my plant chore with me video, I did check on the roots in that video, and they are growing, which is so exciting. My first time doing an air layer, and it's working. Yes! So that is that plant. I'm hoping to be able to, after these root out, I'm going to cut this here and try to train it in a little bit more vertically, or even if I can wrap it around that pole, I don't know. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So that is the Philodendron Melnik. Okay, the next plant that I want to show you is this gorgeous baby here. Now, look at the leaves. This is the first leaf that came out in my care, I believe. Yes. Oh, sorry. Look, Gimbal, you do what I want you to do, okay? So this is the first leaf that came in my care. It is so shiny and just beautiful. This was the second leaf. This was the third leaf, and it is, I mean, the video is not even, my gimbal just wants to do what it wants to do. Follow me. So this leaf is massive. Let's see if I can, like, it's huge. And it's beautiful. Look at that. Oh, there's dog fur on it. Shocker. Everything has dog fur. Can you relate? So that is that leaf. And we have this new leaf that is just about to unfurl here. So I'm really excited to see how big that leaf is going to be, if this one is any indication at all. Now, these plants are climbers. They love to climb. In my experience thus far, it grows fast. So I did make sure to get it on a moss pole as soon as possible so that it had a chance to grow with the plant. And this moss pole is about 1.5 to 2 feet long. And I'm hoping that will get me at least a year. We will see. I don't know. Okay, so that is the next plant. Now, if we go over here on this shelf, now I hauled this plant maybe 3 weeks ago. And in that video, I told you guys that it was marked as a Monstera SpiderMan, which if you Google Monstera SpiderMan, it will come up as an Imperium. So when I saw the label, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. However, I wasn't 100% convinced to begin with. And then Cody from the plant channel, if you haven't seen his channel, go check him out. He has the most beautiful collection, and he is one of the sweetest guys that I know. Super knowledgeable, very helpful. What amazing bubbly personality. Anyways, super cool guy. I'll link his channel below. Go check him out. Anyway, so he had commented and said, girl, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I don't think that's what it is. And I was like, you know what? I was kind of contemplating myself. So what we think it actually might be is a Monstera pinipartita, which is actually a plant that I wanted anyway. So I think that's really what it is. And as the leaves grow out here, this growth pattern really does actually look like a pinipartita. So once these leaves start growing out and getting a little bit bigger, I'll be able to tell a little bit better what it is, but I really think that's what it is. So I inadvertently, accidentally misled you, I believe. So it's still exciting nonetheless. What an amazing find. So we have, turn around. turn around. The other plant that I hauled in that video was this Philodendron tortum, which is kind of hard to see because of the plants behind it, but it has this new leaf coming out here. It's not going to focus. Hold on. Are you going to focus? There you are. Hopefully it'll stay focused. So this new little leaf coming out, I love the way they come out because they're kind of like wispy like this. When they unfurl, they just look so neat, like this little wrapped up coil, and they just like unfurl. So that's really exciting. I'm really jazzed about seeing this plant grow because it's just so unique looking and so different from anything else that I have in my collection. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the next plant that I want to show you is this guy, my Begonia maculata Weighty, I believe it's called. Look at those polka dots. Oh my dear goodness. So I got this as a small cutting. I think it had 2 or 3 leaves from Paula, maybe 10 months ago ish. And it was just this tiny little guy, and it has grown so much, and I believe that it's actually going to bloom for me. I don't know a super ton about these. I've only had this one, like I said, about 10 months. So, but it has gotten like really big. These leaves are pretty substantial, and it's just doing so well. And I don't want to jinx myself, but it is looking really good. So I just wanted to show you guys that because it doesn't get a whole lot of press. And I know there are some of my plants that don't get a whole lot of press, but know that most of them are still here, other than the ones that I've sold, but you know, whatever. Mostly Calathea. Because I've given up on Calathea. So that is that guy, and I'm just obsessed with how it looks. It's such a cool contrast with the other plants on this TV stand that it just really stands out, and it gives, you know, my collection texture, and I love that. Okay, on to one of a couple of the most exciting updates for you. So you guys will remember when I hauled this #1 wishlist plant, the variegated Philodendron how did we say it now? Billetier? Did I say it right? Billetier. So after I got it, it put out this all green leaf shortly after I got it, and then for months, nothing and nothing and nothing. It spit out this little teeny growth point and then did nothing. So I was like freaking out. I'm like, come on, baby, you gotta do something. And yesterday, I was checking my plants obsessively like we do. And look, it is growing a new leaf. So I would like you all just to take a moment and cross your fingers for me that this leaf will be variegated, because this was the leaf that I got before and I was so disappointed that it wasn't variegated. But I know that these are kind of a hit and miss sometimes. You know, you'll get a green leaf and then you'll get like a variegated leaf. So I'm really hoping that this guy is variegated. So fingers and toes crossed. Okay, the next plant that I want to show you is this guy. So I think he's finally getting well established. We're holding on to leaves now. It has shed all of its original leaves that it came with. I call them acclimation leaves. So once you get a plant into your home, as I've said before, the conditions in your home very, very rarely will be similar to the conditions that your plant was originally grown in. So don't ever be surprised if when you get the plant home, if it starts dropping those older leaves. Don't be shocked. As long as your roots are good, you're good. You know, do your due diligence and make sure that you're not overwatering it and that kind of thing. But 9 times out of 10, the leaves that it comes with, especially if it was a shipped plant, you're not going to, they're not going to stay around forever. So this plant is doing amazingly well. Now look at the veining on these leaves. It is just stunning. And it is growing this tiny little new leaf. Oh my goodness, I love this clariniferum. It is so beautiful. This is the leaf that it came out with before the newest one, and I'm just obsessed. I could sit here and stare at this plant and just touch it forever. It is like velvety, more of a suede, I would say, but it it's just a beautiful plant, and I'm so excited that this plant is actually now acclimated to my home. And PS, if you are looking for a starter Anthurium, you like the velvety, suede-y Anthuriums, this is a great one to start with. It is one of the most forgiving and easygoing velvet Anthuriums. So yes, Anthurium clariniferum, highly recommend. Okay, let's move over here. I need to show you this mess. So this, let's look up, look way up, for those of you who have been on this earth for a while. So this is my Philodendron glorious, and this plant I would say is about 4.5 feet tall at this point. It is massive. This, see if I can get around to show you here, is its newest leaf. It is huge and just beautiful. And then it just unfurled. I can hardly reach it. It just unfurled this leaf, which is really difficult to show you right now because of the location and the fact that I'm not 10 feet tall. However, so this plant, as you can see here, has a little air layering packet on it because these lower leaves were not doing the greatest. I actually had to cut this one and this one. They were starting to yellow, and I had to snip them before it took over the whole leaf, and I think they're okay now. However, it's not super pretty. A couple of the bottom leaves are just not like crazy healthy looking. So my plan is, once this roots out really well, I'm going to snip it here right above this node right here, and I am going to plant this as its own plant. So it will start off hopefully super healthy with nice strong roots. And then what I'm gonna do is take a few node cuttings, probably here, 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 here. I lost a leaf right here, unfortunately. And then I'll probably leave the bottom few, and then this can grow in like that. And then I'll have a few cuttings that I can start brand new plants. So that's my goal. We'll see how well it works out, but I'm really excited about how this plant is starting to grow. It's doing really well now. I just have to get the bottom portion of the plant in check. So that is my Philodendron glorious, who lives up to her name. Even the back of that leaf is stunning. Okay, up here, nothing too super exciting. This is my Philodendron gloriosum. I have to yell because the camera's way up there now. As you can see, it is getting a new leaf. I think it's got room for that leaf and maybe one more in that pot, and then I'm gonna have to repot her into a big ginormous pot. If you watch her channel, if you don't, you definitely should. Stacia from Oops, I Soiled My Planties. She's super down to earth, so funny, and just a generally amazing human being. Has this gorgeous gloriosum, and it is just so beautiful. She just did a video on repotting it into a larger pot, and that plant is something else. If you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. The plant is just stunning, and Stacia's amazing, so go check out her channel. I'll also link it down below. I don't know if I said that, but I will. Okay, moving along. Let's move around over here. I'm not going to go through these shelves too much. As you guys know, this top shelf is dedicated to my cacti and my succulents, and some of my Hoyas have overflowed to this top shelf because this is my Hoya shelf. So it goes from here to here to here. And has gotten a little out of hand. So I have had to move some of my Hoya up here. So we have my Lacanosa Eskimo Silver, we have my Hoya linearis, we have my new Hoya Finlaysonii, I think it's called. Moving over here, we have my Hoya Polyneura, who's doing well. It's getting two cute new little leaves. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. And my little Hoya curtisii, doing really awesome. I do want to show you this though, because this was super exciting. I don't know if the camera will focus, but right at the end there, are you gonna focus? Please focus. Oh, it's not gonna focus. Anyway, right there is a little peduncle, and I am so excited for that. I have so far had 2 of my Hoyas bloom. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen those. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. It is at Plants, Pots, and Whatnots. I will put it, it's always in my description, and I'll put it at the bottom of the screen here. But you can see what those blooms look like. So my Hoya Sunrise right here bloomed, and then back here, oh, she's totally buried. Back here is my Hoya Calistophylla, and she bloomed also, and the blooms on that plant are gorgeous. But I will warn you, if you haven't had one bloom, it stinks. It's not stinky like it's gonna stink up your house. It's just, it's not a pleasant smell. Like I know some smell like cinnamon and chocolate and this beautiful jasmine flower. This is not that plant. The blooms are beautiful, but they do stink a little. The blooms from my Hoya Sunrise were kind of like a citrusy floral scent. Really, really pretty smell. So if your Sunrise is blooming, that's what that smells like. I do have a couple peduncles, if it'll focus here, on my Hoya multiflora. This one looks like it's just going to die off on me, but there is this one here that hopefully will give me something. I have had a ton in the back there. You can't really even see it. Is my Hoya Matilde, and I have had a whole bunch of little teaser peduncles, but nothing has transpired from those yet, so that's kind of disappointing. I do have a cute new little leaf over here on my Hoya Viola. Look how cute. It's not focusing, this camera. There we are. Adorable. So that's where we're at with the Hoyas. I think that's all I wanted to mention about those. One of my more exciting updates is from my Monstera Thai constellation. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that this plant is my pride and joy. This is one of Jordan's favorite plants. It did nothing over the winter at all. So the last leaf before the winter that it threw out was this one. If you were around through Christmas, you will know that this is the leaf that triggered my 5 fenestrations in our Christmas collab video. That was the last one that it gave me, and that was right before Christmas. It did nothing all winter. And then it threw out this leaf with 4 fenestrations a couple months ago, actually. And then again, it did nothing. And I was like, what? It grew so well last year. And I was so confused. So actually, I had posted a photo on Instagram of the plant last week. And I was kind of like, still hasn't done anything, but it's really beautiful. And then 2 days later, look. Oh, I'm so excited. I am so excited to see this leaf. It's not even funny. So, oh, dog fur. Always. My goodness. They say golden doodles don't shed. If anybody ever tries to tell you that shenanigans, don't believe it. Okay, so that is that plant. That is my Monstera Thai constellation in all of her glory and new growth beauty. Okay, let's move around to the other side of the room. Okay, I'm going to start on this side because the last plant that I want to show you is the most exciting one. So I will leave that for the end. So if you've made it this far, stick around because the last update is the coolest. Look, gimbal, stop it. Okay, so in here, if we look, okay, I just got to point this out because, like, isn't this the most whacked out leaf you've ever seen? This is my Philodendron Birkin. I don't know what it did. So this is the second leaf that has come out. Now, the first one that came out is a little more normal shaped looking, but this one is all kinds of weird. Still beautiful. It makes the plant quirky and unique, and I love it. So let's look down here. So this is my Philodendron Florida Ghost Mint. And it is finally just spewing out new leaves like crazy. For a really long time, I was just getting these small little green leaves that you can see down here, like for a year. And then Christian from House of Monstera yelled at me and said, "Nikki, feed the plant." And I was like, okay. So I started feeding it with Miracle Grow liquid fertilizer. Turns out these plants are really heavy feeders. So if you have a Philodendron Florida Ghost and it is not performing, feed it. So as far as fertilization goes, I once a month give them a dose of the Miracle Grow liquid fertilizer, the all-purpose stuff, and then on waterings in between, usually I'll do a dose of the Marfil, and my plants are loving it. So especially this one, it's a really heavy feeder, and it's doing so well. I mean, the proof is in the leaves, like it's just nuts. So that is that one. Here, this is one of my newer plants who kind of fades into the background. Ignore the little fungus gnat thing on there. I've been trying to catch whiteflies. This is my Imperium zipolanium, and look at these new leaves. I don't even know if they'll come off there. Look at that. Oh, now look what I've done. Okay, anyway, I'll fix that later. But yeah, this plant is so cool. The leaves are just so different and neat, and it really just adds something texturally, I think, to the rest of the collection over here. So that's really fun, and I love that. And this is happening fast. These leaves grow super quickly, and I did hear this was a fast-growing plant, but you know, it's one of those things, you gotta believe it when you see it, and I am seeing it. Okay, so just a little update on this guy because you don't see him very often. This is my Monstera Peru. Let me look up. So cool. So this plant was getting really big, and I was like, I'm not building another moss pole. So I just I have these pieces of driftwood. I always keep my eye out on Garage Sale, which for those of you in the US is kind of like Craigslist. It's just a second-hand app, and it's a great place to find all kinds of stuff. All of my shelving, for the most part, has come secondhand, and it's great. You don't have to spend a ton of money. I mean, gosh, we spend enough on plants. We don't need to spend that much on accessories. But all these pieces of driftwood I've found off Garage Sale, I just bring them home, I clean them really well, and then I use them for my decor, which is great. I also have a video that I'm working on about plant styling and plant decor and how to decorate with plants, etc. So that will be probably next month at some point, so keep your eye out for that. Anywho, so I just kind of tucked this guy in here, and the leaves have actually started to get bigger since I've done that, so I think it really enjoys the fact that it feels like it's climbing on an actual tree. So that's really cool. This plant is so awesome. I love those reptilian leaves. So pretty. Okay, this next plant is causing me some grief. So this is my Philodendron Melnik. And as you can see, it's whacked out. I don't even know. So for a long time, I've been getting these leaves that the new leaf would kind of grow into it. So I have a lot of leaves with this little hole right here. Very few of them have actually come out decent. I think that's probably the only one that came out nicely. It looks like it's finally starting to straighten itself out. There we go. But you can see it's not growing normally like it should. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this guy. I was thinking I might actually just chop him into nodes and regrow all new plants. Let me know. Do you guys think I should do that? Let me know down in the comments. Should I chop him up and grow him as individual node cuttings? Because I think that's what I should do. Okay, moving along. So this guy looks probably familiar to you if you saw my most recent Cissus Discolor video. After that video, I actually did repot him into a bigger pot, and I put him on this trellis. So it's like crossed over, so it's 2 hoops, one this way and then one this way. He's not super happy about being repotted and put on this new trellis, but I think he will snap back. I put him right back in the same place that he was before, and I mean, the leaves are still amazing and wonderful. I did lose a couple leaves. It threw a little bit of a hissy fit, but I think she's gonna be okay once she gets used to her new surroundings. Or not even surroundings, her new pot. Not much to show you down here. I'm not sure if this guy's got much press. So this is my I'm losing my voice, talking too much. This is my Alocasia Black Velvet. Now, I bought this plant. It had this leaf and then a really sad second leaf, but the price was right. This is a really healthy plant. The roots are great. This is really firm and healthy. So at this point, I'm just waiting for it to, oh my gosh, is it throwing out a new one? Oh, it might be down in there. I'm just waiting for it to acclimate and start spewing out new leaves. This guy probably looks familiar to you. You've seen this one before. This is my Alocasia Silver Dragon. And it, if we look under here, there we go, has a new leaf coming right there. So I'm super excited about that. Let's look up here first. So I snipped my Albosingonium and I cut it right here. And since it first put out this little, I don't even know what to call this. It's like a half a leaf, a piece of a leaf, I don't know. And then it spit out this, which is just unfurling. It is an all white leaf. So I know that's not going to last for long. The last all white leaf that it put out, it lasted quite a while. But I mean, you know, all white leaves are something that you just have to enjoy for a limited time only. But I also have that other cutting that I took from there that I'm going to replant down in the bottom here so that it's just more of a full plant. Let's look down at this because this is so exciting. Look at this leaf. This is the Monstera Albo that I got from Bryce and Christian from House of Monstera as a 500 subscriber gift last year. We're getting close to about that time. It's almost been a year since I hit that milestone. And for me, that was a huge deal. It was a big deal. And so this plant I got from them, and it is just done so well. These leaves are just so beautiful. The variegation is amazing. And then I finally have fenestrations. I can't explain to you how excited that makes me. Okay, so just a quick peek in behind here. So this is my Rhaphidophora Hayei. Oh, look, Monstera, you can't take all the attention all the time. Who is starting to grow up this moss plank right now, so that's really cool. It's just so cute. The leaves are so tiny, but it has gripped onto the post. Initially, when I planted it here, I used these little, I don't know if you can see it, these little floral pins. You can get them on Amazon. They're super cheap, especially for climbing plants like this. They're really, really handy. It's just like I said, it's just a floral pin. You just kind of stick them into the moss, and then it just helps the plant keep close so that it will adhere on its own eventually. Similar to this guy. This guy's crazy. So this is my Monstera Debaya, and you can see at the bottom there, the leaves when I got it were quite small, and if we look up as we go here, up and up and up, look at that. It's got a new leaf coming out here, and I am really excited. I think it's actually, I think she started to grip onto this this piece of wood that I've got here. It's a piece of a tree, and I just thought it was really cool and rustic. I wanted to get something that looked more natural, like it was actually climbing on a tree, and it seems to really like it, and I love the look of it. I actually have two pieces, so once my hay gets a little bigger, I'll be putting that on a similar piece. It's actually over there in the background, if you can see that. So that eventually will be for the hay. So yeah. Okay, and if you've waited until the end, the last update that I want to show you, something that's super exciting, is on my variegated bird of paradise. Look at this leaf. Now this leaf had just unfurled, I think, just before I got it, and it has hardened off now, and you can really see the variegation and the colors on it. And then it did nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing. So, but it didn't decline, which is good. But I've been sitting here just praying and waiting for a new leaf. And yesterday morning, I woke up to this. Look! It is a new leaf just starting down there. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. The variegation on this plant is absolutely stunning, so I can't wait to see what that next leaf looks like. I'm sure it will be a stunner. So that is basically it. That is all the plants that I wanted to show you, the plants that had some cool updates, and yeah. So wasn't that crazy? What do you think? I've really got some cool stuff going on. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated. If you don't already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Here is my handle on Instagram. I post all kinds of updates and, I don't know, stories and all kinds of fun things over there. That is also where, if I have any questions for you guys, I will go ahead and put that there too. Just kind of put it out to the masses to see what you think about this or that or whatever. So go ahead and follow me over there. That would be great. So much fun. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had to discuss with you today. I do want to thank you guys all for taking the time to watch this video. I definitely do appreciate all of the time that you spend with me. It is so nice. And also in talking to you guys, I love talking to you guys. I have people that will message me, you know, on Instagram or whatever. I'm really sorry to, you know, I hate to bother you. Please never feel like you're bothering me. I have no problem right now. As most of you know, I am not employed at the moment. So YouTube and Instagram is my thing right now. So please never feel like you're pestering me. I always, you know, will answer your questions as best I can. And if I don't know something, I will definitely tell you. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe here's where you can check for the information. Or I will give you, to the best of my knowledge, what has worked for me or that kind of thing. But please never feel like you're pestering me, because you definitely are not. I absolutely love talking to you guys. It's more of a personal kind of connection, and I just love that. Okay, Nikki tangent. Shocker. So anyways, yes, I want to thank you guys all for liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. It is a huge help to my channel, and I definitely do appreciate it. So with that, I will bid you adieu. 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 However you say that, just sounded fancy. Okay, well, I would like you all to have a great day, night, week, month, and year. I love you all to bitty bits, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah!